I exposed my cheating fiancée at the altar. My fiancée, Stephanie, and I had been together for about 5 years. We were high school sweethearts, and everyone thought we were perfect together. I'd always felt that she was the one for me, so when I finally proposed, I was ecstatic when she said yes. Fast forward to the big day, and everything seemed to be going smoothly. The venue was perfect, the weather was cooperating, and we were surrounded by friends and family who were genuinely excited for us. Now, let me introduce Jerry, my best man. He and I had been friends since elementary school, and I considered him a brother. Little did I know that my trust in him would be shattered within hours. The morning of the wedding, I got a text from an unknown number. It simply read, "You need to know the truth." Attached was a series of screenshots detailing explicit conversations between Stephanie and Jerry. Apparently, they'd been sleeping together for months, and the most recent message indicated that they'd hooked up the night before our wedding. I was absolutely devastated. It felt like my entire world had come crashing down. My first instinct was to call the wedding off. But then, as I sat there stewing in my hurt and anger, I came up with an idea. I decided to expose both Stephanie and Jerry in front of everyone, to let them feel the shame and embarrassment that I was experiencing. So, I rewrote my vows. Instead of the heartfelt words I'd initially prepared, I crafted a speech that would reveal the ugly truth about my soon-to-be wife and best man. I made sure that no one, including the other groomsmen, knew about my plan. As I stood at the altar, waiting for Stephanie to walk down the aisle, I felt my heart pounding in my chest. I could see the excitement on everyone's faces, and it took everything in me not to break down. When she finally arrived, looking stunning in her wedding dress, I felt a mix of sadness and rage. The ceremony began, and it was finally time for us to recite our vows. I took a deep breath, looked Stephanie right in the eyes, and said, "I, Jacob Anderson, do take thee, Stephanie Miller, to be the cheating whore that you are, and also." I turned to Jerry, who was standing behind me, and without hesitation, I punched him square in the face. Jerry crumpled to the floor, his nose bleeding profusely. He tried to get up and engage with me, but my other groomsmen, equally shocked by my revelation, quickly intervened. They grabbed Jerry and dragged him off stage and out the door, berating him for his betrayal. Back inside, I continued to yell out the details of Stephanie and Jerry's illicit relationship, much to the shock and horror of everyone in attendance. Stephanie, tears streaming down her face, denied everything. Her bridesmaids quickly rushed to her side, escorting her out of the venue. Stephanie's parents, Larry and Diane, looked absolutely mortified. I apologized to Larry for the money he'd spent on the wedding, knowing that it had all been for nothing. The once joyous atmosphere had turned somber, and the guests began to disperse, leaving the venue staff in a state of disbelief. Outside, Stephanie's parents were arguing with each other, and she was nowhere to be seen. I managed to calm my own parents down and reassured them that I would be okay. It was a difficult conversation, but they eventually understood that I couldn't have gone through with the wedding knowing what I knew. In the end, they supported my decision, even though it had turned our special day into a complete disaster. My buddy, Mike, who had been one of my groomsmen, offered to go on the honeymoon with me. At first, I hesitated, not sure if I was up for a vacation after everything that had happened. But Mike insisted, saying that I needed to get away and clear my head. So, with nothing left to lose, I agreed. We hopped in the limo that was supposed to take Stephanie and me to the airport and headed off on our impromptu bro-cation. As we traveled, I couldn't help but feel a strange sense of relief. In a way, I was glad that I had found out the truth before committing myself to a life with someone who had betrayed me so deeply. When we arrived at our destination, a beautiful tropical island, I realized that Mike was right. I did need this getaway. As the days passed, we spent our time lounging on the beach, exploring the island, and just enjoying life. To my surprise, I found myself feeling happier than I had in a long time. One night, while out at a beachside bar, Mike and I met a group of stunning women. They were friendly and fun, and we all hit it off instantly. As the night progressed, we danced, laughed, and even indulged in a bit of flirting. It was refreshing to feel desired and appreciated after everything that had happened. Eventually, Mike and I ended up hooking up with a couple of the girls, and I couldn't help but think that maybe the single life wasn't so bad after all. I'd always imagined myself getting married and settling down, but now, the thought of being free to explore and enjoy life without the constraints of a relationship seemed incredibly appealing. As our vacation came to an end, I couldn't help but reflect on everything that had transpired. My life had been turned upside down in a matter of days, but somehow I felt like I'd come out stronger for it. Sure, there was still a long road ahead as I tried to piece my life back together, but I felt a newfound sense of confidence in my ability to handle whatever came my way. So, there you have it, the story of how I exposed my cheating fiancé at the altar and ended up discovering the joys of the single life. To anyone out there who's been cheated on or betrayed, I want you to know that you're not alone. It's a painful experience, but it's also an opportunity to find strength and resilience within yourself. And who knows, you might just find that the single life is the way to go, allowing you to have your fun without ever having to pay the price that a lying and cheating love can sometimes force people to pay. Well, that was short and sweet and carried quite the punch, literally and figuratively. Would you have been able to wait that long before punching Jerry in the face and leaving your wife to be? What would you have done in his shoes? Let us know in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.